something you learned and what's something you're eager to learn?
I learned that we have a lot of people who are capable of moving without the ball. Um, we have a team that's willing to play with the pass and move their bodies. I think where we are as a group, it fits well. We don't have anybody who can dominate the ball, and so it's going to be a collective effort on the offensive side. I think I also learned that our young guys are coming along physically. Um, there's when people talk about development, there's always the conversations about closing the gap basketball wise, but more than that in the NBA, you have to close the gap physically between being 19 and 26. And I think the work that our group put in this off season has shown itself. I think we've had instances in the preseason where we've been able to physically hold up in certain moments, especially playing through contact collisions around the rim. I don't anticipate that being perfect on every possession, but I think I've seen a willingness of our group to put their bodies on the line, especially around the basket. We need to continue that. And then I'm excited to see what works and what doesn't. Um, like a lot of teams in preseason, you don't get your full complement of players for every game. And so we have some lineups that we think we like, and we have some concepts that we think have looked good, but it's on us as a staff to always be evaluating our own group and be willing to change the things that aren't working as well. Um, so I think this first part of the season, it's going to be important for us to be honest with ourselves about where we are, what's working, and what's not.
Speaking of lineups, do you know who's starting?
I do, yeah.
Could you share that with us?
We're going to start Keontae, Svi, Lowry, Flip, and Walker.
What did John Collins do to kind of help you this young team when he was here?
John's a John's a hell of a player. He's an established NBA player. Um, he brought a great energy to our locker room every single day. Um, he played so hard every game. I think our fan base loved his intensity. I just have so many flashes in my head, not of like the high flying plays, but of him digging out rebounds and kind of being all over the place. He also showed our young players that you can be adaptable. We asked John to do some things and play in different spots that maybe he hadn't to this point in his career, and I thought he handled all that really well. John's like I said, he's a hell of a player, but he's a wonderful guy. I'm always rooting for John, just not tonight.
You mentioned some of the lineup combinations you want to see, and curious, what brings to that starting four spot maybe different, or than what Taylor Hendricks would bring, and how you make kind of those choices.
Yeah, I think Flip gives us another element of ball handling. You know, if we're going to play a little bit bigger, you still have to have enough people on the floor that can handle the ball. And I think based on different matchups, there's moments to use Flip as a facilitator. Ball handling doesn't necessarily have to be dribbling, but um, I think he'll help that group. I also think that it's probably in Taylor's best interest for us to make sure that we're bringing him along in the first part of the season. He played some heavy minutes in some preseason games on purpose to try to spike his conditioning. But, we've got a long road ahead this year, and I don't want to lose sight of the fact that Taylor did miss a year and that we need to help get him through, especially these first 6 weeks.
And it's Ace on a minutes restriction tonight.
Ace is on a minutes restriction. He's obviously going to come off the bench. We're going to try to play him 15 minutes. He's been sick for about 6 days now, so that's the hope.
What do you want to see from Svi?
I want Svi to play off the catch catch and shoot, pass, move. Um, and I think defensively, Svi has shown in moments with us that he can guard the ball, and he is pretty relentless pursuing at different times. I just this is probably for a lot of our guys, but I don't need speed and try to prove a point tonight. Just be a part of the group. Try to execute on both sides of the ball. He doesn't need to show me or you guys or anybody um, anything special tonight. He just needs to compete to win and play within the framework of the group. The way we're playing with the ball moving the way it is, I think everybody's going to get plenty of opportunities.
What is Jeff Van Gundy meant to the coaching profession and your personal career?
Jeff is a legend in so many ways. I think his relentless pursuit of knowledge is something that we should all aspire to. I was very fortunate to work with Jeff with Team USA. I miss the mornings of him knocking on my door at 6 a.m. with a half drink Diet Coke and a stack of notes handwritten. He can consume film at a rate that I've never seen before. And as somebody who spent a lot of time in the video room, like, it is truly outrageous how much film he can take in. He's an all-time great coach, and he loves basketball. He loves teaching. I had so many amazing conversations with him, not just scouting and talking about our opponents, but you get into the theoretical part. As a young coach, it's not lost on me. There have been a lot of people who have shown me a lot of grace and given me their time and energy, even in moments where I probably, if I ask myself, it's like I don't deserve Jeff Van Gundy giving me 2 hours at lunch talking about press break, but he did it anyway. And I think the way that he gives himself and is willing to give his knowledge to everybody else is remarkable. It's something that I aspire to. You aspire to hopefully be in a position one day where you can help other people, you can help young coaches. Um, he's like a coaching purist in that way. He just wants to see the coaching profession continue to advance. Um, I'm lucky to call Jeff a friend.
Well, when you look at that lineup that you're going to have tonight and what you've had over the years, starting big players 3 through 5, what's your goal defensively with that group, and what steps do you want to take starting tonight to improve off of last season?
Yeah, we have to protect the basket, and we can't take away everything. I think we have to do a better job physically of putting bodies between the ball and the rim. Um, if teams beat us making jump shots, that's what we're going to have to live with right now. Hopefully, they can be more contested than not. But when we went back and have evaluated our team, um, there has to be better individual defense at the point of attack. But our bigger players have to do a better job around the basket, and that's everybody. Um, there's also some ancillary things that have to improve. Turnovers really hurt us defensively last year because of how many live ball turnovers there were, and our defensive rebounding has not been up to par. So my challenge to that group is that if we are going to play bigger, we have to protect the basket, we have to rebound. I recognize there will be other moments where it'll be harder for us, but we have to make choices right now about what we're willing to live with and what we're not. And that's part of what we're trying to train our team is, as much as every coach would like there to be a shutout, there won't be one tonight. And so we have to decide what baskets bother us. and what baskets are just life in the NBA. And so we're trying to have our group understand that, because if we create paranoia as a staff and we're mad about every basket, then we're going to take away nothing. So it's really about setting the framework of what we're willing to live with and what we're not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.